Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Ciao, everybody. We are talking about Survivor 43, episode 11. And I'm back from Italy.
Who's this guy? What? What are you doing here? But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment. You know, I didn't learn how to say Nerdtainment in Italian while I was there.
It's a made-up word, so... Yeah, I'm not sure what that would have been in Italy.
Yeah, right. Nerdtainment.
Nerdtainment.
I will say, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, boy.
But I was just like...
Starting it off.
When the accent that people do when they're like... when they get accused of making fun of Italians... That's how they talk.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That's just how they talk there. So, you know, I understand we shouldn't do caricatures of people with... But they literally say...
I think it's just that we're not supposed to do it.
I think that's right.
Do it.
I think that's right. What I loved, my favorite part, and then we can stop talking about Italy and talk about Survivor. They say Mamma Mia unironically there. It's like they're... Right. It's like, oh my God.
Yes.
They're like, oh, Mamma Mia.
Yes.
I was like, keep saying it, please. I love it.
You're like, it's my favorite movie. Say it. Yeah, I think that they were already saying it. Yeah. And the movie is off of that saying.
Yeah, it's a real thing, you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were just like, I know that movie.
Anyway.
It's a Survivor episode.
I'm so happy to be back. And I am going to start this off and say, Sami, I'm so sad, but I'm glad that he didn't get eliminated while I was gone.
True.
I'm glad to be here to recap this episode. My number one guy.
Your number one pick. He lasted a really long time. I think I want to give him the award of like most surprising.
I think so too, honestly. Not just because I picked him.
Was a joy.
Yeah. He was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Good casting.
Agreed. Well,
but he starts the episode off on the outs because it really was just one mistake that he made that was like fatal for him because I mean, he's been like playing both sides and flipping for a while and people were kind of aware of that. But this time he found himself on the wrong side of the vote. He voted for Carla. He's having to come back to answer for that. He's not ready.
No, he was not ready. He was not. Well, he didn't know he was going to be on the wrong side of the vote.
Right.
He didn't have time to prepare.
But it's like a long walk back, I presume, with your torch back to camp. I'm like, you couldn't come up with anything better.
Yeah. No, I think on the walk, he was like, "Holy crap. What just happened?" But yeah, he gets back to camp. This was really hilarious because he's like, "No, I would never. No." And they're like, And like Jesse's right there. And Jesse set him up.
He did.
And Jesse's like, "No, I think it was you. I don't think it was Gabler. I'm pretty sure Gabler, aka I have looped Gabler in.
Yeah.
So I think it's you."
Yeah. He's looking terrible. And then he's just swearing up and down, like, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And he's like, "I did not do it, you guys." Okay, I did do it.
Yeah.
I did vote for you.
He even just like, Cassidy. No, it was me. It's not, it's me. Oh God, Sami. It was so funny.
I know.
How not well he handled that.
He just really did. And I feel like, you know, sometimes... Yeah, it's bad to vote for someone and then they're still there. But I feel like you can just kind of frame it as like, look, I thought that's the way the vote was going and respect. You're like good at this game, you know? I
would have been like, Jesse told me that was the plan.
Yeah.
Jesse, why are you questioning me? You told me that was the plan.
You're in charge, Jesse.
But no, he doesn't. He, he tries to dig himself out of this, which is super entertaining for us.
Yeah.
But then we cut to Gabler and Owen because Owen also was like, "What?"
Owen is literally throwing his bag in the sand in exasperation. He's like, "Will I ever be on the right side of him?
Will I ever?"
Because I think he's realizing I'm the GOAT.
Yes.
You know?
He said, that's it. Bring me to the end. I get 0 votes, guys. That's me.
He's like, I am horrible
And
at Survivor, so bring me to Final Tribal.
I mean, I don't think he's horrible at Survivor, but it has not gone his way, and I think he's got a point at this point, unfortunately. Yeah.
But Gabler's all like, oh, and I got a plan for you.
Okay.
I've got a plan for you to make it to Final 3. Don't you worry. I am in the best position in this game. Nobody's looking at me as a threat. And Owen's like, cool. Well, I haven't voted correctly even one time.
That's not true. I had to think back because I was like, what?
Surely back in the early tribe days, he was on the right side.
Well, he said, I haven't done it since Mariah. Which was like what the first vote.
Yeah.
But he was on the right side of the vote just a couple weeks ago because it was bad for his game to do it. He voted out one of his allies.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's been bad.
It's just not looking good for you. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. So Sami's burned, right? This is now we're in like the next morning. That's like,
well, before we do that, Owen has this great edit where he compares everyone to the Peanuts gang, and I just
oh yes,
I don't know everyone in the Peanuts gang, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
so you're adorable, Owen.
Good job, Owen.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Sami's like, oh man, I really got burned. Wow. Ooh. And he's looking at his letter, right? He's reflecting on, I got this letter from my mom, and you know, they're proud of me, and I can do this, blah blah blah. And at this moment, I'm still holding on to hope, and I'm like, Sami's going to win immunity. Yes. Like, this is what they're setting us up for. He's in danger coming out of the last tribal, but he's going to win immunity, and he's going to like flip, you know, the strategy. And that's going to be what happens.
Yes. Well, I was thinking it's either that or he's leaving.
He leaves.
Yeah. I was like, oh, look at this lovely package we're getting.
Yeah.
So question, is Sami the hero or is Sami leaving?
Yeah.
That's really where we are with that. But it was very sweet to hear him talking about like he was never really brave enough to try.
Yeah.
Or like he failed to try.
Yeah, it was about trying. Yeah.
Is what he was saying. Yeah. And I was like, dude, you got on Survivor. You are more than trying.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Shoulders back.
Truly. Be proud of that for sure. And then we see him with Carla, right? And he's like, I don't, it's not sure. He's doing his best. But he's like, Cassidy is the one who threw out your name.
What? Sami, wait.
Of all people.
So many questions at this point because I was like, why is he protecting Jesse?
Yes.
Why are you not throwing Jesse so far under the bus right now?
Right. Why are you trying to like split up Carla and her ally? Go after like Jesse and Cody, that super strong duo that everybody has to be aware of at this point. Like, I didn't quite understand.
Right. Because I mean, like, how that's got to be understanding if you're like, look, Jesse is running this game. He came up and he gave me this story, and that's what I thought I had to do.
Yeah.
I didn't want to vote you out.
Yeah.
I thought, blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
And then he pulls out Cassidy's name, and I'm thinking, of all the names, that's her number one ally. Yeah. What are you doing?
But somehow they do find this edit where Carla's like, well, I can't trust Cassidy anymore. And then she like confronts Cassidy about it. Well, actually, Cassidy pulls Carla aside first. And she's like, I know Sami's going to like try to sully my name to you. And I just want you to know, like, I still have your back. But they find these sound bites. I think Carla even says it in confessional of like, I'm going to have to get out my number one ally.
Yeah, no, Carla. Sami did something to Carla and she is now questioning. She regrets telling Cassidy that she has an idol. Look, most people know. You asked for beads. People can assume and figure this out. But Cassidy knows for sure. Yeah. And so I think that paired with what Sami is saying, just put that fear in Carla that Cassidy can no longer be trusted.
Yeah.
And I was shook. I was shocked.
I was like, this cannot be. And Carla's saying, we're playing similar games, Cassidy and I. Like, I can't keep her in the game. I'm like, oh. Like Cassidy's the one person I think Carla can trust right now.
Yes.
This is not good.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
This was really shocking to see Carla questioning that. But now we're going to get a boat show up.
Boat mail.
And it just basically says, hey, there's an advantage out there. Go.
I liked that. What'd you think?
Well, I thought
it was fun.
Yeah, it's super fun, especially the way they edit the way that everyone missed this advantage.
I forgot to mention to you guys, I'm super jet lagged and I woke up at 3:30 this morning and watched this episode of Survivor. 4 a.m, I'm in my bed like this. What? 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 Like, this edit was amazing.
Brilliant.
The way they show, if you're the advantage, your face is the advantage.
Yeah.
Everyone's just
Yeah.
looking everywhere, but at you. Around every spot around your face.
If my face is the advantage, you're the camera.
Yes.
The camera was just planted there. And everyone's like, nope.
There was so many moments of like coming close to the camera and then just dipping the head and looking around the advantage. It was like Owen, Sami, Cody, Gabler, all of them.
Every single person. The editors had a field day with this. It was so fun to watch. They're like highlighting it, like faces just walking right next to it.
Leaning against the tree. And the advantage is right by the back of your head.
It's usually below eye level, right?
Yeah.
Like as you walk by. Insane the way they edited this. And yeah, it was super fun to just have people running and looking, and everyone's looking together.
Yeah, Gabler organizes the LERP thing or whatever,
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, it was so amazing. And then we've got 3 people standing there. It's Gabler, Cody, and I think Sami.
Oh, was Sami there too?
Yeah, he was on the other side of the tree. And Cody's just like, yeah.
Huh.
And he's like leaning on it.
Puts his hand up over the thing and is like awkwardly leaning on the tree. Like that's not where your hand would normally be on the tree if you're resting. Yeah, it's like a little up. And then he's like a magician. He like just scoops that thing right off the tree and it's like under his hand and he like slips it into a sleeve. And yeah, I have to say, like, brilliant. I mean, Cody's playing a great game. He's doing well so far, but I was a little bit like, oh, of course Cody finds it. Like I would have rather have Sami find it.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Yeah. It would have been great if Sami had found it. But Cody's going to be the one, and he is going to slyly be able to get it. Mm-hmm. It's not a huge advantage, but it's a nice little game, basically.
Yeah.
Do you want to bet on someone else? So he gets to know what the immunity challenge is going to be.
Right.
My nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets to choose who he thinks could win it if he doesn't. Right. Now, I felt like he was a strong front runner to win this challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he pulls out Owen, and I kind of was surprised.
Me too.
But he knew more than I did.
He did. He really did. Now, was it a thing where was it like, you know how it was like, oh, you open it up or not? Like you could leave the advantage. Did he have to engage with the advantage since he found it? There was no like penalty if he got it wrong or something, right? There's no reason for him not to play.
Right. I mean, he said, I'm a gambler. Let's go. Because, you don't get, if he didn't win and Owen didn't win, I think nothing changes.
Yeah. Okay. Right? Yeah. So he, as you all know, he wins immunity if whoever he guesses wins immunity, or he could win immunity outright and then he would have immunity. So he has like 2 chances at immunity here. Little did he know it was 3 chances. Because when we go to the immunity challenge now, Jeff reveals that, well, actually, I think it's Cody's like, hey, here's this thing. And Jeff says, we will not reveal Cody's fate. This I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Until after the votes are cast.
Yes.
Before they're read.
Before they're read. Now, had this been someone like a Sami that was potentially a target, I don't know why, but I don't think Cody was going to be a target this week. That would have been an interesting wrench for people to be like, well, what do we do? Waste votes on him?
Do we split votes? Yeah. Cody, I don't think so much changed the calculus of what was happening. I think they were just like, let's just assume he's safe.
Yes.
But we weren't worried about him anyway. So he wasn't ever even really part of the conversation.
Yeah. Right. Well, now we've seen this challenge before. This is an old throwback.
Yeah.
U.S. old school.
I mean, Jeff was like, this is old school Survivor when we inflicted a little more pain on people, which is true. If you watch those old seasons, they were brutal.
Challenges were brutal.
Yeah.
And this one is so hard for me to watch. I start like having trouble breathing just looking at it.
Wow.
The players haven't even got under the grate. And I'm like,
yeah.
It's so hard for me to watch. Is it not for you?
I don't know if it was the jet lag or what, but I was just kind of,
They're gasping for air. I'm gasping for air.
I was loving the like slow-mo, like water shooting out of nostrils and stuff. You're sort of realizing how intense it is and with those kinds of shots, which is cool to see. But they're, it's this whole thing based around the tide rising. And so swells are coming in and they're having to hold their breath underwater. But then as the tide rises, it becomes like a lot more intense.
You're basically just always holding your breath.
Always.
Like, I don't know when they were getting gasps of air,
Mm-hmm.
but this was just so fascinating to watch how it goes down. I mean,
this was another one where I'm like, what?
Historic.
An hour and 52 minutes in?
Yeah.
And then Cassidy's out. Like, what are we talking about here? These people killed this challenge.
Gabler's out first.
Yeah.
Then Sami. Jesse's out.
Mm-hmm.
By the time Cody is like getting out of the challenge, but he like
it's a long swell. Yes, that was
tries
great.
to get back. He's like, he's also eyeing Owen. You can see under the water. He's like, how's Owen doing?
Yeah.
And he like tries to go back up, but you
like
can't get
twice.
air.
Yeah, he's twice he's going back up, and then finally he's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get that hour and 52 minutes is down to the three of Owen, Carla, and Cassidy, and we get that long swell, and Cassidy just can't get.
But she was killing it up until then, because she had her legs up through the grate, just holding her whole body steady.
Yeah.
And was doing a great job of like keeping her nose plugged and just breathing through her mouth. She had really good, strategy, I thought, but it's just a matter of
the legs through the grate like scared me too, because I was like, what if she starts?
Stuck? Oh my!
Yeah,
don't say that.
What if it was longer for her to like get her legs out? I was so scared for everybody.
Yeah, that is stressful.
But she seemed to be able to navigate it just fine. Although she like comes up like that, and you can tell she is.
And they're all commenting how cold they are when they leave the water. They're like, I'm freezing. And like, even when Jeff is like, giving the immunity necklaces to those who win, he's like, oh my God, your body is freezing. They're like, yeah, I can't feel anything.
Yes. I didn't even think about how cold.
I didn't either.
That must be.
Yeah.
But here we go. This is the epic ending.
2 hours and 45 minutes of holding your breath underwater, and the tide starts to go down.
Yep. They're like, wait.
Jeff's in his ear and he's like,
what's this now?
This is getting easier.
They've gone through the tide.
Got it.
Like production timed this out. Hey, tide's coming in at this time. This is when we're going to start.
Yeah.
We've got 3 hours of this high tide.
Yeah.
Then we're done with the comp. Oh, wait, no, they're still there.
2 of them.
They broke production. Carla and Owen.
Survivor.
They hacked it. They beat it.
Yeah.
And they had no choice but to say, well, they can sit in this grate for 3 more hours.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do that.
They're like, we actually have to break for a meal for the crew. So we can't wait for high tide to come back.
No. Incredible. They have to give them both immunity.
Yeah.
No other choice. So
never done it in the history of Survivor, he says.
No.
Yeah.
Because why would you stay in the water that long? Why?
Yeah.
For immunity.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So
super impressive.
2 people are now immune.
Yeah.
We know it's going to be 3.
And 3 with Cody. Yes. So Carla and Owen get these necklaces, make Survivor history. Cody's sitting there very pleased with himself for picking Owen. And then I did love when Jeff's like, swim out. And they're like, oh my God, why do we have to swim out? Can you please let us go on a boat?
They're all like, wait, swim out? Wait, swim out? We just got out of the water.
Yeah. Now we have to get back in and hold our breath and swim out. Oh, God. And we get the first glimpse of Sami saying, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I might be the target, and I might have to play my shot in the dark. Is that the first reference to the shot in the dark all season?
No, because they have
Gabler made one.
Right.
Yeah.
In the early, but it's the first time that it seems like it might actually get played, right?
Yeah.
All the other times have been so vague to the point that we were like, is it even
a
game?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now Sami's making it very clear. He knows it's part of the game. He's prepared to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had already felt like the fact that Jeff had not brought it up, I felt like Shot in Dark was never going to affect this season. If it was going to ever affect this season,
they would have teased it
Jeff
more.
would have said in the very first episode, plus the shot in the dark is a thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. And so that makes me think the shot in the dark is not actually going to impact the game.
Right.
So I unfortunately assumed if he played it, it was not going to help him.
Yeah. Okay. But when we get back to camp, Sami's not the only one feeling nervous. It's basic because essentially they are all realizing there's 4 people left to choose from because we're assuming Cody's safe. We're
Right.
just like not even talking about him.
Yes.
So there's just a much more limited number of people to be talking about
Yes.
here. It's Sami, Gabler, Cassidy, and Jesse.
And Jesse has an idol. This we
Yeah.
know. Nobody else knows this.
Right.
But he knows that. So yeah. So the chat here is, well, first off, Cassie's having a really, really hard time.
She is.
And I was like, because you almost drowned.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, right.
It's understandable. You almost drowned.
Yeah.
But Owen is suggesting Sami, and she's
Yeah.
like, yes, please. Let's
Thank
do
goodness. Yeah. But then Carla is with Sami and she's like, I think we go Cassidy. And
Yeah.
Sami like kind of can't believe it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I can't like protest too much. I kind of have to just like go with this and see if it's real and try to suss things out.
Yeah.
But he's like, do I have the best luck in the world that somehow I mentioned Cassidy's name and Carla actually believed it and now Carla wants to get Cassidy out instead of me?
I mean, I was pretty impressed. And
Yeah.
I was like, look at this. Carla is here.
Yeah.
Saying she'll take out her number one ally.
Yeah. And then they cut to Cody and Jesse and they're saying Cass. And I'm like, what? But they're sort of saying like, you know, Cassidy and Carla are a tight pair and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why is nobody talking about Jesse and Cody as a tight pair?
No, they're like, you know who's with Carla? Cassidy. We should break up a pair. And I was like, what? If we're breaking up pairs, there's a stronger duo.
There is.
If that's what we're talking about.
I know. It's the duo with 2 idols and Cody keeps like winning immunities. Like, what?
But okay, let's skip over that.
Yeah.
And go back to Carla, Cass, / Sami. Now, Jesse is the one. I mean, we didn't get to talk about last week's episode.
Getting good at it.
But that blindside checklist was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And here he is again going, do I want to go this
if
route?
If Carla's going after Cassidy, why do I need to go after Cassidy?
Yeah. That
means maybe Carla's closer to Sami.
Closer to Sami. So why don't I take him out and put a wedge between Carla and Cassidy?
Boom.
Wow. Jesse is cutthroat.
He really is.
He comes across all like sweet.
Had a little bit of a like.
But he's cutthroat.
Lackluster start, I think. I personally saw like big things to him because he kind of reminded me his backstory reminded me of Tony. And so I was like, oh, is he going to be able to, like, he's one of those people who can like communicate with like all types of people because he comes from like, you know, some sort of like troubled background and is now like very sort of like more traditionally successful and blah, blah, blah. But he had like a rocky start, I thought, where it wasn't so splashy. This is very splashy gameplay, I think.
This is very splashy. I didn't think he had a rocky start, but I definitely think Cody took the lead.
Yeah.
And maybe he was like just like a lieutenant, a second person. What is a lieutenant? I don't know military ranking. I'm assuming a lieutenant is the second in control. I don't know. I have no idea. Probably makes no sense whatsoever. But he was letting Cody take the lead, and now he is like, "But what if I take the lead?"
He's kind of the bigger strategist, at least according to the edit.
And he even said, like, I thought this was pretty bold to be like, hey, and then Carla's pissed off. She's on the right side of the vote. She looks dumb.
Yeah.
Cass is pissed off at her. She's going to vote her out the next week. It's like, I would have kept that stuff maybe just like a little bit to myself. And just been like, hey, let's get Sami out.
Yeah.
But
also, you know, just to bring up like Sammy's like the fire master. So like get him out of here, because if it comes down to the top 4 situation, like who's going to beat him in fire, like thinking ahead to that, you know, we're at that stage of the game here. And so Jesse pitches to Owen, but Owen's a little bit like, I don't really know if I can trust Jesse. I mean, I'm sure Owen is like, I can't trust any of these people because nobody ever tells me the truth.
Nope.
But yeah, Owen's a little bit questioning it. And then Jesse pitches Cody on getting Sami out. Again, wants to make Carla look dumb, all of this stuff, which is interesting because we've had a conversation before about thinking that maybe Jesse was closer with Carla. Not so. He's definitely closer with Cody.
Right.
But Cody still is kind of a little bit more focused on Cassidy. So basically we know going into tribal, it's Cassidy or Sami.
Yes.
And is the shot in the dark going to come into play? Like, how is this all going to shake
And
out?
is Carla going to like get screwed in all of this?
Yeah,
like
right.
this is
Queen
very
Carla.
Right. Just a couple weeks ago, they were all like, well, is Carla going to be upset if we take one of her allies out?
Yeah.
And now they're like, let's just screw
we should take
Carla.
her ally out. Yeah.
So fascinating.
Yeah.
But here we are going into tribal. Blah, blah, blah. tides, whatever, until Sammy's like, I'm gonna play my shot in the dark.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
yeah. He before he like flat out says that, he's kind of saying like, I'm feeling at the end of my game, right? I have no options, but is somebody going to take advantage of that and like use me as a number? And then the conversation kind of like goes into more vague survivor metaphors. And Sammy's like, everybody shut up. I'm playing my shot in the dark. Okay, I'm going to do it. And Carla's like, Jeff cuts to Carla and she's like, wow, it's really disappointing. And Sammy's like, and why is that?
But why? Why? Unfortunate.
Oh yeah, unfortunate.
She says that's unfortunate. Now, so this is interesting because he says, you know what? I got to play my shot in the dark, and his vote doesn't matter. Like this is the perfect time to play the shot in the dark.
It's the last chance to play it.
It is?
That's part of the messaging. Yeah.
Oh,
that we're getting. Yeah.
Oh, great. So definitely play it.
Yeah.
But he was saying like, if everyone was telling me the truth, they don't need my vote. And so I'm just going to protect myself. Right. But when Carla's face went,
yeah,
I thought, well, then Carla's clearly voting him out.
Clearly.
She's not voting Cassidy out.
Yeah.
She'd be like, you do it.
She'd be like, yes, yeah,
you do it, Sami.
Yeah, Sami.
I got you, boo.
Yeah.
If she's annoyed, that's my first red flag that we don't have all the information here.
No, we do not.
And then, of course, we see everybody mad. They're all like, what?
But I love, like, Noel on the jury was like, go, Sami.
Go, Sami.
I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabler's unfazed. He's like, I'm sticking with the plan. And I think ultimately, like, we saw how the votes fell. Everybody voted for Sami. But I think you have to sort of look at this as someone who's still in the game and like, okay, cool. He is threatening to play his shot in the dark, but we all know the odds are so low. So like, let's just move forward with this because he's probably not going to draw the safe one, I
mean,
it's only so threatening. It's like 12% threatening.
It's only so threatening. Yeah. So even though you're like, oh crap, this might ruin our plans. You don't really have to change your plans. But I was surprised that it was unanimous.
I'm definitely surprised that Owen found himself on the right side of the vote.
Well, good for you, Owen.
I'm surprised he didn't just like last minute decide to change.
Someone should have last minute decided to change because your one vote would have sent somebody out. I really don't understand why someone didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's kind of a fun hinky vote to throw in.
Yes.
Because there's no way that anyone would necessarily be able to pin it on you unless they can like tell your handwriting. You know what I mean? But I loved the final thing that Sami said, where he was talking about like, I don't want to leave with any kind of souvenir in my pocket. I want to play every play that is available to me. And I don't want to get lied to the way that I lied to people. And I'm like, I love that awareness. Yeah. That like what you were doing to people the whole game could easily be happening to you right now. Yeah. And it is.
Right. So in his exit interview.
Oh my God.
He said it really was Cassidy all day. And then he got like just the slightest hint from Gabler and Cody. Both were like, we'll let you know if anything goes wrong. And he was like, wait, why would anything go wrong? And then sitting in tribal, they were giving him nothing. And he's like, hey. And they're like,
oh my God.
So he said like, in the moment, he just blurted it out and was like, I'm going to do it because he was getting that body language from people. And then he was like, I see everyone pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm definitely I am the vote. So it was kind of unraveling right there for him.
Yeah. Well, he does play the shot in the dark. It's revealed he's not safe. We reveal that Cody is actually immune. He voted for Owen. Good for Cody. And then it is unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
I just can't believe one person was like, okay, so I guess they all were like, let's just go with it. Yeah. If he's safe, we'll all have to vote again.
We'll have to revote.
Whatever. Yeah. But like if one person had just thrown in Jesse, and then they wouldn't have had the chance to reshuffle and figure out a second plan B, whatever. Yeah. You would have had that control.
That's right.
So I was just shocked that we didn't see that. But what also shocked me, and I shouldn't have been shocked, was how Sami went out.
Okay, in what way? Because I noted something that
A 19-year-old really shouldn't get $1 million. And I was really getting into Teslas. But my mom doesn't like electric cars. So maybe this is best for both of us.
Literally the same thing I wrote in my notes. I was like, Sammy, bringing up mom until the very end of the game.
Love it. He's the best.
The best.
He's such a 19-year-old and he can't help it.
He can't help it.
He cannot help it.
He's still a kid. Like, yeah, he thinks about his mom all the time.
His mom picks him up from the rain.
Yeah.
His mom takes him to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
And his mom doesn't want an electric car. So this is really why he shouldn't win the money. Like, what?
It's also just funny. Like, I love Tesla and my mom doesn't like electric cars. Like,
wait, first off,
we don't have time to unpack that. Like,
please, Mom, come here and talk to us about what your issues are with electric cars.
I mean, I don't love Elon Musk, but like,
but electric cars are supposed to be better for the environment.
I don't know. So I'm like, who is this woman?
Please give us your thesis on why we shouldn't like electric cars. Oh my God, it was so great.
Oh my goodness.
Sammy was so enjoyable.
He really was.
It really is a bummer to see him go, but we're going to get fun faces on jury. Like,
oh yeah,
we're not done with
He's going to be great. He's
Yeah.
going to be I think in the final like Q&A, he's probably going to have a really good question. He gave great confessional all season. And I think that he played the game in a way, like to a level that a lot of people were not expecting. So I think that it was really fun to have him as part of the cast. And you know what? He went out with everybody thinking he was 22. So he's probably going to drop that at Final Tribal. Like, just so you guys know, I'm 19.
Oh, 19?
I'm not even 22.
Not even
and they'd
22.
be like, yeah, you brought
like,
up Chuck E. Cheese.
They're like, that feels the
so
tracks.
So it actually feels right.
Okay. They're like, oh, you don't say, Sammy.
They're like, actually, we thought 17.
Yeah, we're like just barely made 18 to get on the show. That's what we were thinking, but no.
But he's fun. I'm going to miss him.
Right. I'm going to so miss him. He really was the most surprising for me.
Yeah.
He was really fun. I think he's a great character. We very well might see him again just because he's a great character.
It's true.
And he's got time to grow up
100%.
and do this at 27 and, you know, still be young and fit and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fine vote for everyone to get him out.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is because Jesse set him up last week.
It's true.
Jesse chose him as the fall guy, and this is what happens.
That's what
Otherwise,
happens.
He was playing a decent game.
He was.
I didn't think he had like a ton of power to make things happen.
But I felt like he was
in a
doing a good job of like negotiating the middle, like going where the power was, but maintaining relationships with those people who were on the bottom and saying like, sorry, I had to flip, but like, I still got you. And like, let's figure out a way to like get the power to shift to us kind of a thing. I really thought his social game was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he should come back with his mom for like a blood versus water. That'd be amazing.
God, that would be good.
We'd love to see his mom.
Yes.
All right. Well,
my draft is dead now.
Your draft is dead.
I'm officially out. I am a loser.
The biggest loser. You were already in last place, David.
Yes.
So that didn't go well for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been leading at all, but I feel good about having Jesse and Cody still.
They have got to break them up.
And Cody this whole time. Jesse's making it to the end.
Yeah, I would say, I honestly think if Cody doesn't win immunity next week, Cody might go home.
Well, I don't know when they're going to do this. They need to soon.
They need to. I think the advantage thing did not help him.
Yeah.
It just
they were like
draws attention.
Yeah.
So the fact that he found it, then he guessed right, it just adds to this like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's going on? And like Gabler is clearly already like sniffing them out, although I don't know what power Gabler has to really do anything. But he seems to like kind of be in with Carla, whatever.
I mean, he's in the middle.
Yeah.
So if he says it enough, someone with power might, you know, he has Owen.
Yeah.
And if he could get Carla and Cassidy to agree,
then there you go.
You got it. Yeah. Right. It just doesn't seem like that's a thing they're going to do, but they have to do it at some point. You can't let Cody and Jesse get to the end.
Well, and here's where we are.
What are you doing?
Frankly, it's Carly and
jet lag.
It's Carla and Cassidy versus Jesse and Cody. And Owen and Gabler are numbers.
Right.
So which of those duos can pull them over? And I guess I would say that it feels like Gabler is more likely to go with Carla and Cassidy at this point because he's suspicious of Cody and Jesse.
He sees the power that they have, and that's wise. That's true. And honestly, that puts Gabler and Owen in a really good spot because they're not going to be target number one.
Right.
Now, granted, things happen, and like tonight, 3 people are immune.
Right.
You know, so you could fall back on a Gabler or Owen vote out, but probably not.
Right.
Those stronger sides are going to try to recruit them to get the other side out.
That's right.
Which will be exciting to see. And we're almost to the end here.
Yeah. I know, probably only a couple more episodes, right?
Right. We've got this week, and then the next week is finale.
The finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yes.
Who would be your pick to win right now?
I feel like Jesse and Carla are gonna be the top 2. We'll have to see. I mean, I kind of think Jesse beats her right now because he has a bit more flashy of a resume.
Yeah.
But I don't count Carla out. But I feel like those are the 2 front runners in my mind.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, the ultimate thing I think for anyone would be it's the duos for me. Like, I don't really see a path for Gabler or Owen to win the game unless they have an amazing end game somehow.
Right.
But discounting them, it's the 2 duos who from those duos can get the other side out and then cut their number one's neck.
Yeah.
And bring Owen and Gabler to the final 3. Where they're just like the undisputed winner of the season, you know? Right.
That really has to be your path at this point. Well, we'll see who can do it.
Yes.
Who can get it done. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat.
Yes.
Yay, David is
I'm back. Thank you for bearing with some of my brain fog today, but I'm excited to be back, and we're doing Amazing Race on Saturday, and we're back in the rhythm. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, that's right. We got Amazing Race finale is next week. So we got things to wrap up here for the year.
Yeah. And also, if you guys are joining us after this live stream, leave us a comment. Let us know, like, predictions for the end game at this point. Like, who do you think is going next week? And then what is the path to a victory in the finale in 2 weeks?
All right. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.